In the dead of night, when shadows weave themselves into the tapestry of our deepest fears, the concept of home can transform from a sanctuary into a sinister trap. Roommates of Dread. A trilogy of true horror is not just a tale of shared living. It is a chilling saga of trust betrayed and sanity questioned, set against the backdrop of an ordinary city apartment turned nightmare. What happens when the person you live with isn't who they seem? This essay will delve into 3 gripping accounts of roommates whose lives spiraled into terror, uncovering the thin line between normalcy and madness. Sarah, Alex, and Emily, each a seeker of new beginnings in the bustling urban sprawl, were lured to the same seemingly benign apartment listing. Their initial meetings were painted with broad strokes of hope and the promise of new friendships. But beneath the surface of their mundane interactions, subtle signs began to appear. A forgotten message, a misplaced item, a door left ajar. These were the early whispers of a looming nightmare. The apartment, with its creaking floors and flickering lights, seemed to pulse with a life of its own. Emma, the 4th roommate, presented herself as nothing out of the ordinary at first. Yet her smiles were too strained, her laughs too timed.
I noticed these discrepancies but chose silence, a decision I would soon regret.
As days turned into weeks, the air within the walls grew thick with tension. Unseen pressures began to mount, setting the stage for the horror that was to unfold. The descent began subtly. It started with Emma's late-night wanderings, her silhouette a ghostly presence in the darkened hallways. Her behavior grew erratic, her mood swings sharp and unpredictable.
I found my belongings displaced, my privacy invaded.
I heard whispers at night, chilling me to the bone.
Attempts to confront Emma only fueled her unpredictability. Accusations were met with denial or explosive anger, further fracturing the fragile peace. The roommates, united by their growing dread, could no longer deny the oppressive atmosphere. They were living with a stranger, and fear had become their constant companion. With each passing day, the home they had cherished turned into a prison, and Emma, the warden from their worst nightmares. The terror reached its zenith one stormy night.
Sarah awoke to the cold touch of fear as Emma stood over her, eyes wild with an unspoken rage.
The glint of a knife caught in the lightning flash, a harbinger of doom.
With reflexes born of sheer survival, Sarah dodged the lethal strike, her scream shattering the silence.
The apartment erupted into chaos.
Alex and Emily, awakened by the commotion, grasped the full horror of their situation.
The trio fled into the night, their hearts pounding a frantic rhythm of terror.
The police were summoned, the apartment sealed off, but the shadow of what occurred lingered, dark and unyielding.
Each discovery was darker than the last, a history of mental illness, a lineage of violence. Narrator. In the aftermath, driven by a need to understand, the trio dug into Emma's past.
The apartment itself held secrets, walls that had witnessed unspeakable acts.
As they pieced together the puzzle, the psychological toll was immense.
Yet amidst the darkness, their bond solidified, forged in the fire of shared adversity. Narrator, sleep became elusive, every shadow a potential threat.
They were no longer just roommates. They were survivors of a hidden war. Resolution came through confrontation.
Armed with the truth and accompanied by authorities, they faced Emma once more.
The encounter was tense, fraught with the potential for violence. In that moment, amidst the turmoil, there was a palpable sense of closure. S2. Words were exchanged, accusations hurled, but ultimately, Emma was subdued and taken into custody.
The roommates, though scarred, had confronted their demon.
The ordeal was over, but its echoes would resonate, a reminder of the fragility of mind and trust. The weeks that followed were a testament to the human spirit's resilience.
Sarah, Alex, and Emily moved forward, their lives forever altered but their spirits unbowed.
They found solace in their shared experience, each moment of laughter a victory against the shadows of their past.
Their story, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk behind familiar faces, concludes not with an end, but a beginning.
A new chapter marked not by fear, but by an understanding of the strength found in unity and the courage to face the unknown.
This tale of terror, drawn from the depths of real-life nightmares, serves as a stark reminder In the corners of our everyday lives where we least expect it, horror can find a home, but so too can courage and ultimately redemption.